Hello, welcome to Aviation 101 with Laura. So, I'm coming to you with an interesting story about a PIREP that I told you about in a previous video, which you can watch. It's the craziest PIREP remarks ever. But first, I do want to bring up the fact that I have launched a cool merch store online. Here is the Aviation 101 with Laura brand on one side of a mug, and 401. Okay, this has to do with derived alternate minimums, which is one of my most popular videos. So check out the merch store. I'm going to link to that. It's a great way to support this channel. I do get ad revenue from YouTube, but YouTube takes a humongous cut. It's great if you want to send your pilot friend or dispatcher friend one of these awesome mugs with Aviation 101 with Laura on it. And also, I have some pretty funny remarks mugs for dispatchers, for pilots. So check it out. Okay, so I can't remember when I released the video on PIREPs, but there was this crazy PIREP remark that a student sent me, and I honestly thought it was crazy when I first saw it. But it says here, and I'll show it to you, remarks near miss with a weather balloon at flight level 350. And initially I thought, okay, wow, that's a little crazy because the weather balloon launch schedule, they do launch typically twice a day, could be more often from lots of places, but the payload isn't that big. It just seems weird. How would the Embraer 175 hit or possibly almost hit a weather balloon? That must have been kind of crazy. Well, I kind of filed it away as a one-off thing until a few weeks ago where I saw some very interesting news. So I heard about this crazy incident where a United flight had its windshield cracked, and they suspected initially it was like space weather debris. We'll put up a picture so you can see that one of the crew members' arms, looks like the captain's arm, has been seriously hurt by some debris from the glass and the breaking of the flight deck windshield on, it looks like one side, just like the captain's side, and also some damage to the aircraft itself, as you can see in this picture. But then it came out some interesting news that the company called Windborne thought that it was likely part of one of their weather balloons and not weird space debris falling down and hitting an airplane, which that's like even really crazy. So I started looking into these weather balloons. Here is some information right off the company's website from Windborne. Apparently, these are self-flying weather balloons. Very interesting. You can set objectives for what you want the balloon to do. They have even had double circumnavigations of the globe, which is crazy. They have an autonomous software platform where you can tell the balloon what to do. Here is a picture of the actual balloon's payload. Notice that it has sand in it or some sort of media, which apparently it can release ballast. It says sand to go higher. It can vent gas to go lower. Very interesting. And if you go back to looking at the airplane's damage, it does in fact look like it may have been hit by some sandy type of particles at a high speed. So these balloons go up and they fly around, and supposedly there is ability to have manual human intervention. But it does say, interestingly to me, that their balloons can collect all kinds of profiles during flight at any altitude in the stratosphere up to 20 kilometers high. So interesting, right? So that made me wonder, what's going on with the airspace there? And again, so a traditional weather balloon just goes up very short one time and then it pops, falls back down. Okay. These things are operational like 40 days plus, which is rather wild. So if you look more into this story, which I'll link to this, it basically says that current regulations, that balloons aren't really equipped with any kind of ATC signaling device. Okay. It says they transit class A. That's clear. If we're having near miss with now hitting weather balloons with the PIREP showed that they were flying at flight level 350. Okay. But that says that they have to be equipped with the transponder if they're in class A airspace. So they do have to have ADS-B out equipment. Now, how that's going to interact with the transponder on a transport category aircraft, That's a little bit less clear to me. I mean, it should be available to the TCAS, but what's concerning to me, is that there's like no ATC heads up on this. We're flying at high rates of speed in Class A airspace with many airplanes flying there. And so, yeah, I'm unclear about this. Apparently, there are manufacturers that make very small transponders, which are a Mode S transponder capability and send ADS-B out, super tiny, and they are supposed to be on these weather balloons. I'm assuming they are on the weather balloons, but yeah, it's kind of concerning to me. So NOAA doesn't say anything about it at the moment. It's basically saying, they have them fly really long. They fly around the world. They can change altitude. Okay, well, there's your mission of the altitude and all that, interesting and all that. But I would still like to know what is going on for a flight safety perspective, especially if now we've actually had an airplane hit it. And yeah, so what do you think? I would love to know what you think about this in the comments. If you're a pilot, have you seen a weather balloon while you're en route? What would you do? Would TCAS give an alert? I feel like it should if the balloon is equipped with transponder and the transponder is working. But like human intervention from a weather balloon that they're talking about with their self-flying human intervention, I don't see how you're going to be able to make human intervention fast enough unless someone's actually watching it. How are they going to know that an aircraft is approaching it? That's kind of crazy. So check it out. Let me know your thoughts and check out my merch. Check out the store and don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a good day.